Hi everyone, I just wanted to do a little video for you today. I know a lot of you do know me personally, you've met me or we've spoken online or you've been following me for ages, which is wonderful, so thank you. But for those of you that don't know me, I thought I would just tell you a little bit about my story and what has led me to be where I am today. So as you can see, I have alopecia. I lost all of my hair, I started losing it 3 years ago. It was quite a tough time. I had alopecia when I was 11, right the way through until I was 21. Only in patches, I had alopecia areata. But back then it was a really, really difficult time. When I was a teenager and you're meant to be out there with your friends, finding yourself, doing all these fun things, I was hiding away from the world. I was on Prozac from the age of about 12. I had to be sedated every night because I just lay there crying and rocking, just thinking my whole world had ended. I was bullied, so I missed about 2 years of school. So yeah, it was a very, very difficult time. So when my hair fell out 3 years ago and I got the telltale signs, the burning scalp, it was itchy, I was convinced I'd got head lice and kept treating myself and my children, thinking we were just passing it on even though I couldn't see any. And then the hair coming out and the brushes and shower, just handfuls of it. Everywhere I went there was just clumps all over the floor. It was just so hard. I just reverted back to all those feelings I had when I was that 11-year-old child. I felt scared, I felt frightened, what was going to happen. I was just about to dip my toe back into dating because I'd been single for a little while and thought, oh no, maybe I might sort of have a think about it and get back out on the dating scene. And my first thought then was, well, nobody's going to want me now. What's the point? Nobody's going to find me attractive. No man's going to find me attractive. I'm ugly, I'm hideous, I look awful. All these thoughts and feelings just going through my head and making me feel like I had to hide away from the world again, which I did. I wouldn't let anybody see me. I'd take my daughter to school, I'd make sure that I would leave it till the very last minute when I knew that everybody was going in so that I didn't have to wait in the playground with her. Even to the point in my back garden, I wouldn't go in my garden without something over my head. I'd got my faithful hoodie that I just used to wear as my comfort blanket, and I used to have that up, my hood up on my head all the time. Just even popping out in the garden, or if somebody knocked on the door, I'd make the children answer. I'd be stood behind the door, but I'd make them answer it, and didn't like them having their friends around. Just, I didn't want anybody to see me. I was embarrassed, I was ashamed. I just went completely within myself. And I remember one day, I'd lost quite a substantial amount by this point. And I remember standing at my back door one day and it was raining outside, really, really miserable. And I remember thinking, oh, it looks just like how I feel. I felt miserable. And then something just come over me and I was like, well, this could be me for the rest of my life. How am I going to be for the rest of my life? Do I want to be like this? Do I want to be miserable? Do I want to keep hiding, or do I want to live? Do I want to enjoy life? Am I going to beat this? Am I going to get that control back? So obviously now, losing my hair at this point, I'd got my children. They were, my daughter was 8 and my son was 11. And I felt I had to be that positive role model for them because, as we all know, alopecia, it is very unpredictable. It's genetic, it can be hereditary. My brother's got it, I've got other family members in the, down sort of the line that have had it. So there is a chance that at some point in their life they could start losing their hair. So that was another thing that I was very conscious of, that I had to show them that they can do it, that it's nothing to be ashamed of, it's nothing to be frightened of, that it's just hair. And as much as I hated people saying that to me, oh Carly, it's just hair, I don't know what you're worried about, I could say it to myself. That was one thing that got me through it. I had just kept saying to myself, it is just hair, it doesn't change who I am. So I decided from that point on that I was going to work really hard on positivity, positive living. I surrounded myself with positive mantras. I've got a big believe sign on my wall, just pictures everywhere of positive quotes and things that I could keep looking at that would remind me of all this positivity I need to fill my life with. And every day, as hideous as I felt, every day I would get up and I would look in the mirror and I would tell myself that I was beautiful. I started off saying it in my head because I did feel a bit stupid saying it out loud, and I didn't believe it for 1 second. I kind of started off saying, oh, I suppose you're all right, oh, you're not bad, and then worked up to saying, you're beautiful, until one day, and it did take a little while, it wasn't something that happened overnight, but one day I looked in the mirror and I didn't have to tell myself, because I knew I was beautiful. What I saw looking back at me in that mirror was a beautiful, strong lady who had been through quite a hell of a journey, but I was getting to that end point where I actually loved what I saw looking back at me. Prior to hair loss, if somebody had said, here's X amount of money, go and have done whatever you want done, I would have had the works. I would have had a tummy tuck, I'd have had lipo, I'd have had a boob job, I'd have had everything, because I was so unhappy with my body. I was always striving to be this person that the media portrays as the beauty ideal. We see it all the time in the magazines, on programmes, on the telly. We're bombarded with it within the media and the fashion industry. This beauty ideal, and I constantly strived to be that person, to the point that when I was younger, I had eating disorders. I used to starve myself because I felt I had to be a certain size to be attractive. So I worked on changing that mindset to the point where now when I look in the mirror, I don't see all those things that I once perceived as flaws. I don't see my stretch marks. Well, I do, but I celebrate them. They're part of who I am. They're part of my journey. They brought me two beautiful children, so they should be celebrated, not something that I want to hide and get rid of, because they're such an important part of me and an important part of where I am today. And I hold a little bit of extra weight, but it doesn't change me as a person. I look at myself as a whole and I love everything about me. So throughout my journey, and one of the things that actually helped me to get to where I am today was a drunken Christmas night when I decided that it would be a very good idea to apply for a documentary that I had seen a casting call for. Now, it was with Rankin, who is the leading fashion and media photographer, celebrity photographer. I mean, who he hasn't had in his studio isn't worth knowing. So I saw this advert working with him and the amazing and wonderful Alison Lapper. And on this drunken night, I thought it would be a very good idea to apply for it. And a few days later, I did hear back. And a few days after that, they were on the doorstep. They were doing test shots and interviewing me. And a couple of weeks after that, I got the call to say that I'd been selected to be part of this amazing documentary. And the documentary was to do with challenging the selfie generation that we're in now and how it has an impact on our mental health. And it really, really does. You see all these selfies like Instagram everywhere, they're all posted. I post selfies, but with all the filters and everything that you've got these days, that's not the reality. That picture isn't real. And you've got people looking at all these wonderful pictures of all these beautiful people thinking, well, why don't I look like that? Why can't I look like that? And again, they're striving to be this beauty ideal, which isn't real. So the idea was there was 4 of us on this documentary, all with visible differences, apart from Alana, who had body dysmorphia. And it was about challenging us to actually see what other people see. We didn't love ourselves at that point. I didn't love myself. I was only just starting out on my journey of self-love. And we got taken up to London to Rankin Studio, and we had a photo shoot, and we were treated like we were celebrities. It was a day that will stick in my head forever. It was the best day of my life. And the initial shots I didn't like. I was a bit, okay, they're all right. And then as time went on and I looked at the different shots, and then when we finally got to the ones with, I mean, at this point I hadn't shown anybody me with no hair. I'd never taken my wig off. I wore wigs constantly. And I had to take my wig off for these photo shoots. And I mean, Rankin is an absolute gem. He's amazing, and he said to me, right, he cleared some of the people out of the studio because I was a little bit overwhelmed at people seeing me. And we started taking the shots, and by the time we finished, I didn't want it to finish. I was like, oh, can take some more, can take some more. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I looked at the final images and I loved them. He captured that natural beauty in all of us so easily. He's got such an eye for it, and those pictures for me and that moment for me in his studio and doing that documentary were life-changing. I remember coming out of his studio and I was at Liverpool Street. I'd missed my train, so I thought, oh, I'm going to go and have a cheeky glass of Prosecco to celebrate, because I was feeling on absolute cloud nine. And I phoned my mum, and I was talking a million words to a second, just so excited about it all. And I remember saying to my mum, if I could bottle this feeling and give to everybody else that is going through something that is life-changing, or that they're feeling that lack of confidence in themselves, if I could just bottle this feeling and give to everybody, I know it would make such a difference. And obviously that's something I couldn't do. So I thought at that time the next best thing was to start a business up, helping people going through alopecia to find them the perfect wig. So that was something that I sort of got my teeth really stuck into. And after the documentary, my confidence just kept growing and growing, and helping these people, helping sort of fundraise with Alopecia UK, and being in that environment really helped me. And knowing that I was making that difference to others really helped my confidence as well. And I'd done that for 2 years. And over the time, the clients that used to come to see me, that they'd come in the door wanting to be invisible, and then they would walk out on cloud nine. Those clients were my favourite ones, because I knew that I had made a difference to them. Because it wasn't just about selling a wig, it wasn't just about putting a wig on the head. It was about that emotional support and helping them, to giving them the tools and telling them my story, spreading my positivity, sprinkling my magical dust, because I wanted them to feel like I feel. So I knew with those clients I'd made a difference. But as time went on, a lot of my work then become online. People just used to email me or text me, can I order this, can I order that? And that was wonderful. I loved helping people with their wigs, but I wasn't getting that real fulfillment out of it. And from when I'd done the documentary, I had a gentleman get in touch, Stephen Bell, and he was just about to start doing a project called Portrait Positive. And he asked me if I would like to be involved, which obviously I jumped at the chance, because it's an amazing project. It's challenging the fashion industry and their media to be more inclusive of people with visible differences. So we set about on that. Again, I text Rankin to get in touch with Stephen to ask if he would be the photographer for it. So we all had our photo shoots, myself and 15 other ladies, all beautiful, all with visible differences, but you don't see those differences. They're just beautiful people, because they're getting on with their lives. They're embracing this difference and celebrating it, and they've let it become them and not let it stop them. And it was, again, another incredible couple of days. But through doing that, everybody said, you're made to do this, you're born to do this. I was helping those that were a little bit nervous, and as time went on and the more things I'd done around positive image and positive body image, and the more I realised that that is where my heart is. I want to make a change, a big change. I suppose in some ways for me, I mean, wigs for a lot of people are a necessity. It enables them to step outside the door, so they're so important. But I sort of looked at it one day and thought, it's almost like the wig's a plaster. You're popping a wig on somebody's head, they look amazing and they look fantastic on the outside. But if it's not in there, then you're just masking it. And I want to be able to get deep inside. I want to work with people on a much deeper level. I want to help them to love who they are. I don't want them to look at all of their negative body image thoughts that they have. I don't want that to stop them from moving forwards in life. And we've got to celebrate ourselves. We need to learn to love who we are. We need to learn about self-care and self-love. I think there's a bit of a stigma about loving yourself. I remember years, we've always said it, oh, she loves herself or he loves himself, in a negative way, but it shouldn't be. It's a positive thing. We should all love who we are. And once you start doing that and start looking after your mental well-being, because it's so important, and you start to embrace our differences, because we are all different, and that's what makes us all so unique and so exciting. If we're all the same, life would be so boring. So once you start on that journey of self-love and you start realising that all these things on the outside, my necklace, my earrings, the makeup, all of that, they are just that, they're accessories. It's the same with me when I wear wigs. I love wearing wigs, but I love going without. A wig for me is just an accessory. It's like putting my necklace on, because the real important thing is what's inside. And I've had so many people, I mean, I'm still single, and I quite like it that way. I kind of think I'd like to meet somebody, but they've really got to bring something to my life. They've got to really enhance it for me to actually want to become a couple. So I think once we really do learn to love who we are, magical things do happen. And I went out a few weeks back, and I haven't been out in the town for a long time. I didn't have my wig on. I was just me. I was in my clothes I'd been in all day because I'd been at a barbecue. I hadn't even touched up my makeup. And I've never had so many drinks bought for me before by men. And they all said it's because I was up there. I didn't care what people were thinking, if people were looking at me. I was enjoying myself. My confidence was oozing out of me. And that is what they said made me so attractive. So it happens like that. And that's what I'm saying about that magic of being confident. It really does change your whole life. The day I become confident, the day I found that self-love, my whole world changed. I have never felt more beautiful. I've never had more confidence. And I've never had so many amazing opportunities. I've met some fantastic, phenomenal people. Had my hair not fallen out, I would never have met them. Even down to Rankin and Alison Lapper, two incredible people who I owe so much to. The amazing and beautiful Gail Porter, she's just incredible and such a lovely person. Karen Betts, who is the leading makeup artist, semi-permanent makeup artist. She does my eyebrows. She's incredible, and just so many people and so many opportunities have come my way because I lost my hair, but because I didn't let it beat me, because I let it make me. We have two ways to deal with something that is negative. Something bad happens in our life, we have two ways to deal with it. We either let it make us or we let it break us. And I'm stubborn, and I wasn't going to let it break me. So by being positive, positive things happen, and they can happen for you too. And I want to be on this journey with you. I want to help you to love who you are, to be positive, to be confident, and to show the world that we are all beautiful, every single one of us. Once you believe it, everybody will see it. So that's just a little bit about me. And one other little thing, I had some really exciting news on Saturday. I was a finalist in a business awards, the Empower Mums in Business Awards. Even to be selected in the top 12, I was one of the top 12 finalists. I was blown away because I didn't expect it for a second. And I, obviously as you do, scouted out all my competition and thought, oh my God, I've not got a hope in hell. They're all absolutely incredible business women. I didn't win, but myself and another lady, out of the 12, we got highly commended. So I take that as a second place, as a runner-up. So for me, that is an incredible starting point for my new venture. Positive Image Consultancy, where I can help you all to feel so good about yourselves and to change your way of thinking so that amazing and magical things happen to you too. Thanks for listening, and I will speak to you soon.